I'm Evelyn. I do community outreach and membership here. If you are ever emailing about anything drive related and you send an email to driveleaders@fgt.org, that comes to me. I help set up your drive information. I am your ultimate resource for anything related to your drive. So don't forget, this space is here to help you. My pronouns are she, her. Just putting it out there. We are definitely focused on providing a more inclusive environment, and we would like to be able to recognize people and how they would like to be recognized in terms of their pronouns. So what I will be doing today is I'll give you a quick overview of the back to school drive, talk about it and how it is going to happen during COVID times. I'll also be covering off on how the physical drive will be run, as well as the virtual drive, go over timing of the drive, and cover off on a good amount of best practices. So at any point, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in and I will address them once we get through this presentation. All right. So first things first, I want to give you that general overview of our theme, the backpack comeback. So that is our way of bringing in a little bit of fun to the new school year that's coming up. We wanted to give students that feeling of like just power and a fresh start as they go back to school after a really, really wonky COVID year that we've all been experiencing. I think we can all agree that it's just been a challenge, right? So what we wanted to do was just to bring that extra element of energy back into the drive and inject that into the students that we help support this year. So I love this new logo personally. I would love to get your feedback and see what you think, because I feel like this is a very different take from what we've done in the past, and I like it. Just so you have some background on how this pandemic has been impacting students. Obviously, we as adults have all experienced it in our own myriad of ways. In a lot of ways, it's been very challenging, and in some ways, it's been pseudo blessing in disguise here and there. But overall, the pandemic has really compounded the racial disparity in education, learning, and achievement. So all of the school shutdowns that have happened over the past year, there have been reports that white and Caucasian students fell about 1 to 3 months behind in their learning, while our BIPOC students fell about 3 to 5 months behind from where they were before the shutdown occurred. And by the end of the school year, in this next month, on average, these students may fall behind by about 5 to 9 months of learning in areas like math. And as far as the BIPOC students are concerned, they're expected to potentially fall behind closer to 6 to 12 months due to the opportunity gaps that they face. Before we even hit the pandemic, we were running this drive for, this is our 25th year. So we were running this for 24 years to help those students who have been underserved. And if you can only imagine how that's compounded over the past year, this is more important than ever for them, that we are here to help uplift them. For those of you who are participating in this drive for the first time, just to give you that quick overview, the donations that we receive from your group, either the physical ones or the ones coming in through the VGT, get received by us. They all get checked at the warehouse. We do have a warehouse that we operate out of during the summer, and we ensure that all of the supplies are included and that items that should not be in the backpacks are removed. And then we gather all of the requested backpacks for each of the schools that sign up and work with us. We coordinate with them for pickups in August, and then they distribute them to students or families. So let's talk a little bit about the learning environment, so you have a little bit of background about what people are going through. This past year, obviously in 2020, the vast majority of students ended up getting sent home and teachers had to kind of figure out how to do online learning and engage with their students. Going into the school year in the fall, we're going to see a myriad of scenarios. We work with over 11 counties worth of schools. So that's hundreds and hundreds of schools and a huge amount of districts who are implementing their own plans of rollout. So some people are planning to do in classroom, where students will be asked to come back into the classroom with, safety precautions in place. And a lot of the feedback that we've seen is that for those students who are going back into the classroom, they're going to need a separate set of learning materials to prevent sharing and contamination. Now, I know as kids, we learned about how, sharing is caring and we want to be able to share, but, obviously in today's world, while kids are not able to get vaccinated, we also have to be careful and watch for, their health. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that they each get their own set of supplies that they work with and aren't potentially spreading any disease or anything out there, right? So that is challenge number one. Another form of learning environment this coming year will be hybrid environments. There will be some schools who will do hybrid learning where, maybe potentially a portion of the week students will be going into the classroom while the rest of the week they will be learning from home. So we've got teachers who are going to need students to have supplies in the classroom and then also have them in their homes ready to go to learn without having to sort of do a transport back and forth throughout the whole week. And then finally, at-home learning. There are some schools who will be allowing parents to keep their kids at home. Those who may feel like they are more vulnerable and don't feel as safe going back into the classroom, they're reserving the right. Not all schools are doing this, I don't think, but there are definitely some who are. And so there will be some students who will still be at home, potentially sharing spaces with their siblings and trying to figure out how to learn again in another year of the remote environment. So these are the potential situations that the students that we're serving will be facing in the fall. Our overall goal for 2021 is to raise 23,500 supply-filled backpacks. Just to give you a little bit of context, pre-COVID, we were on our way toward like between 30 and 40,000 that we were able to put out there for the students in our community. But obviously, given COVID times, our donors have seen an impact. Companies we've worked with have seen an impact. And it's really unfortunate because our students and their families have seen a completely opposite impact where we have more students who are in need, but we have less resources available to be able to provide for them. So we're trying to be as realistic as we can with our goal. And if we can knock that out of the park, that'd be amazing. So that's why you are here. You are here to help us meet that goal and potentially exceed it. In addition to providing these backpacks and the supplies that go into them, we are also, for the first time for back to school, are looking to provide 22,000 essential health kits. So for those of you who took part in our holiday drive, these essential health kits are baggies filled with toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, mask, a mask and sanitizer. And it is an add-on that we're providing in order to help ensure that our students are going back to school safely. So this is a new add-on. We hope to be able to keep this for as long as we need to. We probably will do some form of this for the holiday season as well. So just a heads up for those of you looking to join for the holidays. So again, we need your help in order to be able to support those. In terms of how we're running back to school in COVID times, because COVID times are not regular times and we can't do things traditionally like we have in the years past. In terms of our donation collection, we are exercising as much precaution as we possibly can. The donations that we are asking for the backpacks, differ slightly this year than they have in years past. First of all, we've broken out the grade levels into 3 different levels versus 4 from the previous years. So you'll see that if you requested physical tags to be sent to you, you'll get 3 different types of tags in there: K through 1, 2 through 5, and 6 to 12. And the actual supplies that go into the backpacks have also differed slightly from previous years. Again, going back to, being able to accommodate all those different learning environments that we touched on, we have added items such as a small dry erase whiteboard with a marker and eraser, for example, so that students who are learning in the virtual environment can interact with their teachers. And then one really important thing is also we're providing a set of headphones or earbuds. So for the younger kids, we're going to be providing headphones that go over the ears, because those seem to work a lot better for younger students. And we are asking that if we can get headphones with microphones on them, that is the way to go. And then for the older students, the 6th through 12th graders, we are asking for earbuds with microphones included. So that's the different changes in terms of like what we're asking to collect in our backpacks this year. All of these items will be listed in the tags if you are receiving them or if you're downloading them from our resources page. On our resources page, we also have a one-sheeter of these supplies. So if you just wanted it all in one shot and you wanted to send out a PDF to your group and say, here's the full shopping list, you can go shop for this stuff, you're welcome to access that there. And this is generally what it looks like, just prettied up in a PDF form. Let's see, what else are we doing? The VGT. So obviously, with most people working remotely, our virtual giving tree is a huge tool for us. We did a big revamp for our holiday drive, and we also have done a huge revamp for our back to school drive. So this is what the new VGT looks like when you first sign on. So for those of you who are signed up to receive the VGTs, if you haven't already checked it out, that's what you're going to see when you first get to the screen, and you'll be able to do some customization, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail later. Some big changes for the VGT. In addition to being able to shop for the backpacks, we also have options for people to fund big impact asks. So you have options to help fund a group of 10 students or half a classroom or a full classroom. So this really gives you a quick way to be able to give in large amounts and be able to do the checkout process like you would for shopping for any of the other backpacks. And then we pull all of those supplies and those backpacks together and get them out to those students based off of how you have funded it for us. We also, in our setup email for the VGT, have included instructions for pulling donor names. I know that in years past, there's always been a lot of demand to know, like, who are the donors that have donated to my VGT? So now you'll be able to go and pull that for yourself to pull a report. It will not list out the specific items or quantities that they donated. This is to protect the privacy of our donors, but you will be able to at least get a list of names. So hopefully that will help satisfy some of your requests that you've put in for the VGT. Another big impact, and the reason why Jasmine is also in on this call, and she will help answer questions in the chat and on screen if needed, is with volunteering. So I know a lot of our drive leaders also enjoy being able to take advantage of volunteering in the warehouse. And just so you know, we will have safety precautions in place in the warehouse. We are following very closely city and county guidelines. Obviously, CDC guidelines, whatever it is that the government is asking for us to adhere to, we will follow. And in addition to that, we will be asking that all volunteers who work in the warehouse to show proof of vaccination for the safety of everyone. Now, we do also have other opportunities in terms of volunteering. We will have some limited at-home volunteering opportunities. And this may look like you coming to our facilities to pick up supplies to take home with you, to maybe put our collateral together, which some of our volunteers are already doing, or maybe putting some health kits together or whatnot. We'll have those opportunities out there, and Jasmine, our trustee and volunteer coordinator, will be working with you if you are interested in those types of opportunities. At home opportunities, we don't require vaccination, obviously. It's just when you're in our facilities indoors that will be a requirement. And then finally, don't forget that leading a drive is volunteering. You are using your time to help promote this amazing cause. I hope you think it's amazing. And it takes time and it takes effort, and don't forget it. So if you are working for a company that does something like a volunteer match, please remember to track your hours and put those in, and help stretch that dollar even further to help us out. So so that pretty much covers the general volunteering sort of umbrella. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them into the chat right now, and then Jasmine can help you answer that stuff. But hopefully, as we get more information, we'll be sending that out to you. Let's move on to the physical drive. So I know a lot of you are not running physical drives this year, so hang tight. Listen to this stuff. Maybe you'll change your mind and you might want to contribute a few things here and there. But let's dive into it. Tags and materials. Number one, if you requested for physical tags, we will be sending those out to you in the second week of June, so don't you worry. Otherwise, you can download tags and resources on our resources page. I'm going to mention our resources page a lot today because that's the bread and butter of the drive. That's where everything that we work on in terms of posters and artwork and just materials lives right now. So please visit our resources page for anything that you may need. In terms of things that are going to get mailed out, if you did request for things to get mailed to you, we do mail out via USPS. So they will go out to you. If you, at the time of registration, gave us a FedEx number in order to help us cut on costs, we will use FedEx, and those packages will go out to you sooner because FedEx does overnight and they do an amazing job. So that's how those will go back out to you. So I had already covered these. Second week of June. Okay, so just so you know, we put tags together in packs of 25, and we call that a perfect pack. You may not have requested for increments of 25, and that's totally okay. We will accommodate and give you the number that you requested for. But for those who have multiples of 25 that you've requested for, a perfect pack looks like 7 K through 1 tags, 8 2 through 5 tags, and 10 6 through 12 tags. With your perfect pack, we also will include 2 monetary donation envelopes. And these are envelopes that you can give out to anyone who maybe wants to cut a check to donate instead, or if they wanted to send in cash, though we don't recommend sending cash. But if you wanted to give folks an alternate way to give, in case they don't want to go shopping for a backpack or whatnot, you can distribute those monetary envelopes. And if you want more than just the 2, email me and let me know, and I'm happy to send you more. But again, all of that stuff, if you requested for tags to go in the mail, they will be in the mail starting the second week of June. So ask for changes before that happens so I can get that out to you and maybe help cut costs of shipping for having to ship multiple times. As far as collecting toothbrushes, last year was the first year we started asking for toothbrushes to be included as part of the collection for back to school. We've done it every year for our holiday drive, and we want to be able to start doing it every year for back to school. So don't forget to let your folks know, please buy a toothbrush, new, wrapped, as in not popped open out of the package. And if they could donate it separately, so if you're collecting them, if you could just have a baggie or a box or something for them to be able to drop toothbrushes in, that would be super helpful. I have a question here about health kits for the backpack donations. The health kits do not have to be included as part of the backpack donations. So what we're doing with the health kits is we are purchasing them all. So that is where all of these monetary donations that come in are going to go, and that's going to help take us to ensure that we can get those 22,000 out to folks. If you are going to sign up to volunteer to help put together health kits, Jasmine will coordinate with you, but you will most likely go to our facilities to help pick up the supplies and take them home and then bring them back with you. Hopefully that'll help answer your question. It's surprisingly hard to read and present at the same time. So I love it. Sharing best practices. Go Winnie. Winnie, for those of you who don't know, Winnie Sloan has been doing our back to school drive for ages, and she shops throughout the entire year for bargains and deals. And so all of these tips that she has put into the chat, pay attention to them because they're super duper helpful. We do have health kits as options for purchases on the BGT. So we have already done that. So Jennifer, we took your request and just made that happen. Okay, so where was I? Collecting toothbrushes. Great. So donation collection best practices. So I know there were questions from people about how they can collect. In the traditional world where everybody is in their offices, folks have been able to collect in, lobbies or their workspace, and, they'll put a collection box out. For those of you who still have those workspaces already, you can still do that. Just a couple of things to note. If you are not receiving tags from us in the mail, you can email out the tag images that are on our resources page to your group, and they can go ahead and print that stuff out themselves. If you decide you want to print out those tags and display them in a lobby because you are back in the workplace, you are welcome to do that. So we recommend placing tags in a lobby. Also collection boxes to put them in trafficked areas like a lobby, so that people can see that there is something going on. If you are getting a branded collection box from us, I will be coordinating times for you to be able to pick those up. But we do encourage you to put out your own collection boxes if you have them, because they do cost somewhere around like $25 or $30 a box to us. So as much as you can be resourceful on your side, we recommend it. But our boxes are nicely branded, and we happily will give those out to you if you need them. So if you didn't request them before when you registered and you want them before you officially kick off your drive, reach out to me and we will coordinate that with you. If you are collecting donations in a public or heavily trafficked area, we recommend securely storing your donations at the end of the evening. We did have some businesses who put out boxes and left them out, and their storefronts are, all windows. And we did have one business actually get broken into, so we don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you are locking your stuff up at the end of the night, or that you're emptying boxes. Just, be a little extra vigilant, because sometimes people are just not nice. You can also, if you're not working in the office environment, but want to still be able to collect the physical donations, schedule a meetup. We've actually had some drive leaders who decided that they were going to meet up in, Starbucks parking lot at whatever time, park next to each other and transfer, for Holiday Wish anyway, to transfer gifts over from one car to another. So that is a really resourceful way to do it. We did have some drive leaders who felt comfortable enough to share their home address, and were allowing people to drop off their donations on their porch, and so they would bring it in to minimize contact. However it is that you want to do it and what you're comfortable with, we highly encourage. Just make sure you are safe, and that it's a model that works for you. We don't want you to force you to do anything you don't feel comfortable with. We do ask that, actually, let's see here. Oh, we will be doing drop-off appointments. We did this for Holiday Wish Drive last year, and it worked out really well, and it really helped with minimizing the traffic of people just having to sit and wait in their cars, in lines that are like 10 cars long. So I will be sending out drop-off appointment signups through Sign Up Genius as we get closer to drop-off time, which is at the end of July. So one thing to note is you do need to sign up for an appointment. We want to ensure the safety of everyone. And so this helps us to be able to regulate, how much staffing we need to have around and how much to expect in terms of like volume. One thing that we will ask is that you count your backpacks. Bonus points if you can count your backpacks by different grade levels. We're not requiring that. We may do it in the future, but it would help us tremendously if you can actually keep track of them by the different grade levels. But if that's too much for you, I totally understand. Just any little bit of detail helps us out. I will be asking that you send your totals in prior to your appointment, again, so we have an idea of what to expect. And then as far as getting any excess supplies and toothbrushes, we do ask that you bring those in separately. So if you say have a donor who, bought a giant pack of folders and really only needed to put 2 or 3 into their backpacks and wanted to just donate the rest, put them into a separate box or a bag and turn them in separately when you come to drop off. All right, those were all of the big points for the physical drive. As far as the virtual drive is concerned, what is really nice about the virtual giving tree for those of you who signed up or are thinking about signing up is that you have the capability to customize your page. So on your virtual giving tree page, you will be able to upload your own logo and you'll be able to customize the message that is on that page. So if you aren't part of a company that has a logo, that's totally fine. If you're a group of friends, upload a picture of your group of friends. What's really nice is it's whatever image you want to be able to put out there to represent your group. So have at it, have fun. Obviously keep it family friendly and fun and safe. But we don't really limit what it is that you want to upload in order to represent your organization or your group. We have implemented the ability to set goals in your VGT. We first rolled this out in the Holiday Wish Drive, but we are continuing it in the Back to School Drive. So you can set a monetary goal when you're going to set up your virtual giving tree page. In addition to the monetary goal, which is what we have for holiday, we are also implementing the ability for you to set up a backpack goal. So if you wanted to not focus on the money, the dollar amounts, but rather focus on the number of backpacks, you can do that. So you can put in your goal of 1,000 backpacks and we will be so happy about that. And you can go in and change those at any time. If you decide you don't want to set a goal, that's totally fine. You could just zero out that field. We did create a setup video for your VGT. So please check that out. And it was made by yours truly. So check it out. And if you have any questions, if things are still unclear, feel free to reach out to me. But otherwise, it should pretty much cover the entire setup of your VGT and get you ready to go so you can launch it live whenever it is, as soon as you get your email. And speaking of your email, if you did not get your VGT and you signed up a while ago or signed up maybe like 2 days or older, check your spam. Check your promotions box, because a lot of times those emails go there. But if you don't have that, feel free to reach out to us. Okay. Throughout your drive, we encourage you to check on it periodically in terms of like how close you are to your goal and revisit them and reset if you are already at your goal or exceeded your goal. Consider putting out a stretch goal for your group. If you were maybe a little bit too ambitious and you're not getting enough activity, no matter how hard you're pushing your marketing, consider scaling back that goal a little bit so people feel like it's a little bit more attainable. So, if you are a small company of 10 people and you're a startup and you're just trying to get the ball rolling, and I wouldn't recommend maybe putting $100,000 goal or anything like that. But if you think you can hit it, go ahead and hit it. But just start with maybe 1,000 or something, and then work your way up. There is no minimum goal. There is no maximum goal. So feel free to set it to your heart's content. If you need any help with your VGT at any point, feel free to email our development officer, Amelia. Some of you may or may not have worked with her in the past. And her email is amelia@fgt.org. So take note of that, and we will continue on. All right, drive timing. I know there are questions about the dates, and I'm glad I will be able to cover them here in this portion, so you know I thought ahead of time. So as far as start and end dates, we are pretty much, if you sign up for a virtual giving tree, you can start your drive as soon as you get your link and as soon as you customize it. As far as the physical drive is concerned, we're again sending out physical tags during the second week of June. But if you wanted to get started now, you can go onto our resources page, print out those tags, or send out those supply lists out to your group, and they can get started now. So you pretty much have until now, or the second week of June, until the last week of July. That is when the drop-offs will be, and we will be sending more details and information as we get closer to that. We will have both remote locations and our warehouse location in the South Bay, which we don't know yet. But just keep that in mind, is that you have this really nice span of time right now if you decide to go and download our digital resources. Like I said, our virtual drive, you can start running it now. And all of those virtual giving trees will be live through September 10th. So as far as when you want to run your drive, you can run it whenever you want. So if you wanted to start it now and follow our timeline, feel free to do that. If you feel like you have other priorities that are coming up and you want to end it a little bit earlier, you can set that for yourself in your marketing message that you send out to your group. So whenever you want, in between these times is when you can run your drive. Sweet, I love it. Okay, did I answer all those drive questions? Yes, I did. Pat myself on the back for that one. As far as volunteer signups, we will have priority registration go out during the first week of June, and Jasmine will get an email sent out to you all with that sign up link. It is only for drive leaders, so do not share that link, and make sure you are using that link for yourself because it is unique just to drive leaders. And you, as a drive leader, will get, number one, you get to sign up sooner for warehouse slots, and then number two, get more slots in the warehouse than our community members, the general public would. One thing I failed to ask Jasmine about was how many slots that drive leaders will be getting, and I don't know if she has that finalized. So if Jasmine, you have that information, that would be super helpful.
So that will be finalized once we for sure know how many people or how many volunteers the city will allow us to have. But I want to say between 10 and 15.
Okay, there you heard it, 10 and 15. So volunteers, thank you very much, Jasmine. Volunteers will be in our warehouse from late July through the end of August. So just so you know, when you go to sign up for slots, that's that big window that you'll be able to sign up for. All right, warehouse operations. So just for your information, we will start opening up our warehouse mid-July, so we can start setting up for the operations in terms of like receiving the backpacks, doing all the QA, making sure that orders that we've put in and that you have funded are coming into the warehouse. And that is pretty much going to be from July 19th through early September. And that is when we will be in there, just to give you an idea, because sometimes people ask. Let's go. Oh, more drive timing. So at the end of your drive, when we are all done, I will be sending out a survey to everybody. And I know we all love surveys. It's incredibly important to me that you fill out the survey and let me know how we're doing, because we take your feedback to heart. We absolutely listen to everything that you share with us, suggestions. We try to implement as much as we can as far as like what makes sense for what we are trying to do. And we do follow up. So if you share your contact information with us and had questions or had things you really needed addressed, we will address it. I read every single comment and I take it all to heart. So fill out the surveys. Feedback is very important. After the survey is sent out, drive results will be sent out to you. sorry, the survey goes out mid-September. Drive results will be sent out to you. And this will be at the end of September because we need time after the virtual Giving Tree closes for us to be able to process all of the donations. So our target will be the end of September, and you will get an email. If you do not get an email by the end of September with your drive results, check your spam. And if it's not in your spam and it's not in your promotions, reach out to me and I will be happy to give it to you. But we do send it out to every single person. Sometimes technology just does not play nice with us, and that is why you would not get an email from us. Just a heads up. We will have some form of an appreciation event. Odds are it will be virtual. I personally have found that like being able to do things virtually has really increased our accessibility to our drive leaders. And I really like that. So that's my vote. Again, I'm totally up for feedback from you as far as what you think, but during the appreciation events, we do give out drive leader awards based off of performance, how well you did with your drive, any fun creative things that you were able to implement, how well you worked with our staff. You know, we do give out a congeniality award because we want to recognize those people who really go above and beyond for us. And we also try to provide you with some meaningful content, voices from our community, things like that, where you can kind of get a little bit more understanding about the impact that your efforts have made on our community. And that appreciation event will be between early to mid-October. Okay, I've mentioned it many times now, but in terms of best practices, one of the first places you should go if you need anything, even before reaching out, is our resources page. Again, we worked really hard to put this together for you. And so we want you to be able to take advantage of it. And the resources page you can get to from our fgt.org homepage, or it's also listed in your registration confirmation email. And you could just go there anytime. If we have updated resources, we will post them. If there's something missing, you can reach out to us and we will definitely help you. We have a myriad of cool resources, such as our email templates. Hopefully that will, yes, you will have email templates available to send to your orgs, and they're already available to you. So that is on the page. Our logos are available for you to download and use if you wanted to create your own sort of marketing materials or do something fun with it. Don't alter the logos themselves, but you can add them into any materials that you wanted to help promote your drive. We have graphics that we've created that you're also welcome to use, and you can post them onto your social pages. A best practice, if you are opening your drive to allow the public to help contribute, is to share on social. A lot of people respond really well, especially now, to the social media environment. And so that helps stretch your audience and you're giving that much farther. So huge best practices of that. One thing to note about how you want to market your drive, sometimes it really helps to just understand the situation and to help people understand the situation. So share the reality of the situation for students that we're serving and their families. These families live and work in some of the most hard hit areas by the pandemic, and now they're expected to be able to provide for more to ensure that their kids can take part in the adapted school environment on top of what they were already trying to like scrape and support, right? So so just help build empathy by sharing those stories. One thing that is really, really important to note is that we're all here to help take steps for us to be better allies for our neighbors. So if you can, I do recommend you stay away from language that suggests any sort of a savior complex, right? We're not here to save anyone. They don't need saving. They need an opportunity for equitable education, and they need uplifting. So think of it in terms of that, about what you can do to help create those opportunities for those people who don't normally have them. That's what you're doing. We may not be able to force these kids to be, the next future leaders of, our government or whatnot, but we can certainly give them that chance And you reaching out to your group and you helping to donate to this cause is giving them that chance. A couple of ways to encourage involvement. Spread that message of the value of giving and volunteerism. You know, at the end of the day, we're in a business of trying to help create equity for our students, and that's got to make you feel good that you're trying to help somebody else who may not have what you have. So, you know, the altruism, generally, if you want to look at it from a selfish point of view, it makes you feel good, right? It's like a hug. Also, this is a good opportunity for you to be able to teach kids and families about inclusionary activity that everybody can take part in, and teach them about the reality of our community and the hardships that our neighbors in our very own backyard face. So consider it a learning opportunity that you can definitely use to help motivate people to want to take part. Uplifting neighboring communities. I can't say that word enough. Uplifting is really where we want to go with this. You know, this is, again, our opportunity to build allyship with support for people in your own backyard. So keep that in mind. Are we putting cards of encouragement in the backpacks? You know, we aren't putting cards of encouragement, but if you wanted to create some generic message cards and donate them separately, we would welcome that for sure. And we would definitely disseminate them to the schools that are coming to pick up. So we do review everybody's cards that they do create, because we have had some kids that have actually wanted, or adults even, that have written letters or cards in the past to include with the distributions that go out to the schools. And some have been maybe not so appropriate. So we do vet every single thing that comes in, but if you can keep it as generic and as friendly as possible, that would be great. No personal information or anything like that. You're welcome to submit those separately outside of the backpack. Last, competition. If all of the, you know, heartstring tugging things don't work, drive that spirit of competition in your group, right? Teams within a company can be set up with the VGTs to drive some friendly competition. So if, say, you know, for example, you are one ginormous company and you have a lot of different departments who might be interested in taking part in the drive, and you want them to compete against each other, let's do it. Email us, let us know. We will help set you up with competing VGTs, and you can sort of track the giving that way, and help push the messaging about, you know, how amazing the marketing department is doing and how operations needs to step up their game, right? This is nothing. Jasmine's amazing. She's part of our ops team. I'm just throwing it out there because those are the first departments I can think of. If you have executives that are incredibly active or are enthusiastic, recruit them and recruit organizational leaders to rally the troops. That is a very, very easy way in order to get people encouraged to take part in drives. And may the best drive win, right? That's how you go out with it. I think, yep, that's it. That was the end of my presentation. It was a lot to go over. If there were any parts that you had questions about, please feel free to throw it in the chat. Please feel free to email. Please feel free to watch this video after we send it out. But most importantly, please, please, please take the survey for me. Oh, I have a question from Deanne. Let me go back here. Hang on, let me put the survey out. Okay, that's the survey link. Thank you for catching that question. What is the formula for calculating the number of backpacks from total monetary donations? I will have to get back to you in terms of the formula for this year, in terms of calculating the average number of backpacks when you donate monetary donations, because the value of the backpacks have changed for this year. I just need to go back with our finance team and make sure that that is still good to go in terms of like the amount. So I will follow up with you. If anybody else would also need that information, just hit me up and I will let you know. Okay. Any other questions that I maybe missed? Any other questions now? Okay. then I guess I will call this a successful first virtual training session for our drive leaders. Again, take the survey. Again, email driveleaders@fgt.org if you have any questions whatsoever, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay cool, stay safe, and thank you so much for joining us for the Backpack Comeback.